This is gonna be a lot.
Welcome to my channel. Thanks for staying till the end. Unless you didn't, which, I'm not offended.
Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. This is one of the first videos that I've decided to post for a very good reason. My original thought for this video was I wanted to do a highlights of the past decade from my life because I did a lot of really cool things that I would love to talk about. But throughout the past decade, there has been a lot going on behind the scenes that only very close family members know about and very close friends. I think it's more important to talk about what really went on behind the scenes of the past decade that really shaped me as a person. I'm going to be talking about my educational journey as well as my mental health journey because the two correlate. They go together the entire time. Let's dive right in. Everything really started when I got to middle school. Now, my school district has middle school as 7th and 8th grade only. So I went from an elementary school building to another elementary school building and then also to a middle school building before high school. In middle school, I was very unsure of what I wanted to do. I played volleyball for my first year, my 7th grade year, and I had been singing since I was 3 years old, and I still wanted to do something with music, but not really like choir or anything. They announced the school musical auditions, and I'd never done a musical before in my life, but my mom was like, oh, there's a musical, you should audition for that. That would be fun. Yes. I went and I did the audition, and I had so much fun just at the audition. I had a really cool group of friends then, and I got in the musical. That is the show that really made me start to think about musical theater as something I enjoyed and what I wanted to do. So I kind of did volleyball, and I also did the musical, and I did stuff like that. So I wasn't like the coolest person, but I was having fun in 7th grade. I don't know why, but I'm getting nervous because the next year is when it really starts to escalate into the more serious stuff. Summer before 8th grade was when everything changed for me. So the main source of what happened was I was on vacation with my family, and we were at a certain park, and we were at a restaurant. It was a very, very crowded restaurant, and we were sitting down and we were eating dinner and we were having fun. It was our favorite food, and this man who was not of a sound mind, there was something very wrong. From the second I sat down, I could tell there was just something off about him, and I don't know what caused me to do this, but the whole time I was sitting there and I was with my family eating, something in my mind was just I could not keep my eyes off this guy for the worst reasons possible. And eventually I saw things start to escalate because he was yelling at the people he was with, and I started getting very I could feel my heart racing really fast, and I had an intuition that something bad was about to happen. So this man stood up from his table and walked over to these older women that were sitting there and slapped one of them hard, hit her hard on the back. And that was the moment that you could see me, my eyes glazed over. I felt paralyzed. I didn't know what was gonna happen next, but even from that, I was stuck in this just state of complete fear. So eventually the other guy he was with went to him and tackled him to the ground. And when he tackled him to the ground, he landed right next to my chair. The deranged man reached onto my thigh and was gripping so hard that I had bruises on my thigh from after this happened. That he was trying to rip at the outfit I was wearing. I was wearing a romper, and he was trying to rip it out, and I couldn't move, and I was like literally paralyzed in fear. It was that fight or flight response that people always talk about, and you don't really know which one you have until something like this happens, and I have a flight. As he kept trying to like rip me out of my chair from my leg, and I could hear my parents screaming, "Move, Moriah, like get out of the way, get out of there." But I could not move. As he was trying to get me out of the chair, he decided to just rip the chair out from under me, and I ended up hitting my head off the table and then proceeded to hit it off of the what's it called? It's like a booth seat. I was seated at a chair at the end of the table, but next to the chair was like a line of a booth seat. I hit my head off the table, and then I hit my head off the booth seat. I sat there and just watched as people finally dragged him away. And I had never experienced anything like this before, but that was my experience that day. And I thought everything was fine. I was like, no, I'm okay. Once I finally like snapped back, I was like, no, I'm okay. And I got out of the restaurant and I went out by myself because I was just like, I need to take a moment. The second I stepped outside, I was sobbing. And it's crazy because my life changed so much after that moment, and I would have never expected that to happen. So the next day, when we all woke up, my sister, she woke up throwing up, and we think that was because of the exhaustion from how much we were doing the day before and just not staying hydrated enough in the heat that we were in. She was throwing up, and my mom was like, you know what, you guys just go, and you guys can go to the pool and just sit out there and have some fun, and I'll stay here with her and take care of your sister. So we get to the pool, and we were there about like an hour, and we were having fun, and I was sitting out of the pool with my little brother. I was there taking care of him while my dad went to go do something, and right down the aisle, a fight broke out between two families, and it was bad. It was bloody, it was screaming, it was awful. And immediately, I shut down and I was frozen. So, and then we ended that trip with flying home in a really bad thunderstorm. And then we got to 8th grade. It was one of the weirdest, craziest years of my life. My mom could tell after the trip that something was not right with me. Something had changed in my mind, and she didn't know what. So she helped me find a therapist, and I was very much like, well, I guess I'll do it. I was never against it. I just wasn't really like sure how it would help me. I thought I was fine. And after going to the therapist, she diagnosed me with post-traumatic stress disorder, which I never thought I could have. I always thought that post-traumatic stress disorder was for people who were in the military or been in wars or something, and I did not expect her to say to me that I had post-traumatic stress disorder. Also, through therapy, I discovered that I have emetophobia. Now, emetophobia, this is interesting. Emetophobia, I will read you the definition that I found right here. Okay. Emetophobia is a phobia that causes overwhelming, intense anxiety pertaining to vomiting. So, I've always believed that this was a side effect of my PTSD because within these two events that were very troublesome to me, my sister was throwing up and I got anxious over it. And I think that when I got home and I finally had to deal with everything that I had put up with, that just somehow mixed into it. And I talked about this with my therapist a lot. Along with emetophobia came me refusing to eat. So it wasn't exactly an eating disorder, but it was literally, I would not eat food. I would not eat food at school. I would not eat food before school. I lost a lot of weight, which had been very difficult for me because of a lot of other health problems that I'd been through. I would not eat because I was scared if I ate something, I was going to throw up. That almost wound up being more difficult to deal with than the PTSD, but it came with it, so I kind of count it as all one thing. I would constantly be in the guidance office. I would constantly be in the nurse's office. I would constantly be requesting to go home because I was dizzy from not eating. I was nauseous from not eating. But I also was not eating because I didn't want to throw up. And it was just this constant cycle of being terrified and panicking. Within the 8th grade year, I got the lead in the school musical. I had a boyfriend for about half of 8th grade. I won't go into that. That's not anything I feel the need to talk about. 9th grade came along. 9th grade was insane. The anxiety was way worse. My boyfriend had broken up with me the summer before 9th grade started. But when I got to 9th grade, I didn't have many friends. I really didn't. I felt really, really lonely and panicked all the time. And I was dealing with a lot of bullying again and again and again. And everything just piled on top of each other until I could not handle it anymore. There were days that I would sit in the guidance counselor's office, which I did not have a good experience with. Like, I'm sorry, wait, can you imagine going to a guidance counselor trying to get help for a panic attack or being anxious about something that you have a phobia of and her telling you to take vitamins? Which is, it's absolutely, that still to this day really upsets me. The faculty at that school did nothing to help me. In middle school, the faculty was amazing and they helped me through a lot of things that year. High school was a completely different story. It was a completely different atmosphere where I just felt like I was trapped. There were days where I would go to the bathroom and then I would go to the nurse and lie to her and tell her that I was throwing up in the bathroom and I need to go home. And my mom quickly caught on to that and was like, no, you did not. She was like, you were not throwing up. So halfway through 9th grade, everything became way too much and I transferred to taking cyber school. Cyber school was also not a great experience because I was completely alone. I was home every day. I got very depressed because I was only ever on my computer working on schoolwork, and then I didn't have any friends anymore because there was no one around me to be friends with. During the spring of my 9th grade year, I found out about this performing arts school. And I was very, very interested in it, so I auditioned, and I had been accepted. So that school was the best decision I could have ever made for my life. I was thriving. All jokes aside, at first I was anxious because it was a new school and I didn't know what I was really getting myself into, But I went there as a musical theater major. So I had 4 classes every day. 2 of them were academic, and then I took 2 different academics the second semester of the school year. And the other 2 classes during the day, one section of classes was dance and the other was related to theater or music or anything like that. It was the place that I wound up just completely feeling like home in. My sister goes there now and it's amazing. Throughout that time, I discovered that musical theater was what I was gonna do. It got to my senior year and I was closer than ever with my friends. I was obsessed with my friend group. I had so many amazing friends and I was feeling amazing, and I'd been in multiple of the shows throughout the years, and I just was feeling like on cloud 9, and it was amazing. Okay, I'm gonna reference my computer because I wrote these down. So that year I wound up auditioning for 9 BFA programs, 1 BA program, and 1 associate's degree program. And then I was accepted to the BA program that I auditioned for, 1 BFA program, and I was waitlisted at 2 pretty big BFA programs. The 1 BFA program that I was actually accepted to was very last minute because I only had the BA program under my belt, and I knew that school I didn't really want to go to because the environment that I auditioned in I did not like at all, and that says a lot about a school. The associate's program was really expensive. Believe it or not, it was very, very expensive, and I had a great experience with them, but I did not feel that I would be comfortable. The 2 BFA programs that I was waitlisted at were my dream programs, and that was all I had for a while, up until a few weeks before National Decision Day. And then my one friend, who wound up also being my roommate for this first semester, who also had similar experiences with this, she was like, have you auditioned for this school? I was accepted there and that's where I'm gonna go. And I was like, do they even have auditions? It was like mid-April. And she was like, I don't know, check. And they had 1 more audition date. So I went and I auditioned and I loved it. And I got in with a really good scholarship, and that's where I wound up. Senior year ended with a lot of drama. a lot of drama with friends, with everything. But I graduated and I was really, really excited to graduate. I was really excited to move on into college. I was so excited to be pursuing musical theater as a career, and I was just, I was elated. Elated? Is that the word? Yeah, I guess so. Now we're moving on to college. This fall semester, I spent at a university, and I was studying for a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater, which is a very intense program wherever you go. And I had a very wacky experience, and I still don't want to go into too much detail. I just did not have a good experience. There were students who were very, very rude. I actually wound up taking a ballet class. I had a ballet class from 8 to 8:50 every morning from Monday through Thursday. And about halfway through the semester, I had to drop the class because of something called an accessory navicular bone. And that is basically when you have an extra bone in your foot. And I had previously had surgery. I had surgery on my one foot 2 years ago to remove the bone, and that foot had been doing great. But the other foot started acting up, and I did not want to go through surgery again, even though it was extremely helpful. It took out 3.5 months of my life, and even more with physical therapy and full recovery. I quit ballet, and I kind of had a talk with someone, and they told me, they were like, you can still do musical theater without doing ballet. And I had taken ballet all through high school because I'd been to a performing arts high school, and I just felt really off, and I didn't want to be there anymore. And I started to apply for other musical theater programs, and I paid admission fees and audition fees and pre-screen fees, and I ended up not submitting any pre-screens or auditioning for any musical theater programs. I decided I didn't want to do musical theater anymore. My path just changed, and that's so okay. So if there are any college students watching this who are feeling like so confused and not sure of what you want to do, it's okay. Like, this is the time for you to change what you want to do, to really think about what you want to do the rest of your life. And it's okay if you've had a dream for years. It's okay for that dream to change, because it changed for me, and I'm so happy about it. It's difficult. It's very difficult to change, but once you just go for it, it is so freeing and so exciting, and I wake up every day just excited about what I'm about to do. Now, I am auditioning for programs that are based on commercial music and music industry, singing and songwriting, and I'm really, really excited, and I'm hoping to get a minor of sorts in worship, leadership, or something with religion, because I'm also a very devout Christian, and I grew up in a Christian family, and it is just something I'm very passionate about, and I would love to specifically write Christian music and go into the Christian music industry, and that's just really what I want to do, and that's just what's been laid on my heart, and I'm really excited. This semester, I'm not at that university, but I'm taking community college classes to get some of my general education requirements done, and I am working a part-time job, I'm writing music, I'm starting this YouTube channel, I'm starting a blog eventually. I've already started working on creating it, and I'm really excited. So hopefully in the fall I will be somewhere good. The moral of the story is life sends a lot of changes your way, and how you respond to them is really important. It's very important for you to stay hopeful and keep your faith, because I kept mine, and I don't know where I would be without my faith. It's true, even making this decision to go from musical theater to writing songs and being a singer-songwriter is a change. But this is the time. This is the time to make those decisions. Do not feel pressured into saying, well, this is what I decided to do when I graduated high school, so this is what I'm gonna do. If it doesn't make you happy, change it. People make it sound like it's so easy. It's not. But once you do it, then everything is easier. Life is hard, but if you have faith and hope and you stay strong, you will get through anything. Thank you guys so much for listening. This was really, really hard for me to make. But this is what I went through, and I'm really glad I can share it with everyone. And I think this is a video that I really just want to make so everyone can get to know me, and also something that I can just get out of the way of talking about and move on to making really fun stuff, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to be making videos and posting them every Tuesday and Thursday around 2 p.m. I hope this helps some of you either feel better about what you're going through or gain some faith or hope or trust. If you guys like this video, please make sure to like, give it a comment on if you've had similar experiences, or if there's anything you want to just say or talk about. I open ears, open eyes. You don't hear a comment, you read a comment. Wow. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. This means the world to me. I'm so glad that I could share my story with you guys. If you want, please click that subscribe button. I'd really like to get this YouTube channel going. And I will see you all on Thursday. All right. Bye.